Hi again, it's Penny from Blush, and I'm just coming back to do my next lot of kit recommendations, which is eye products. And I'm relatively boring with my eyeshadows, really. I have a palette that I use every day and I absolutely love. I have got a few others, but I've got my kind of go-to going out eyeshadows, and then I've got a fun one as well. But I don't have a huge amount of, I'm not kind of an eyeshadow person, I'm more of a blusher person. But anyway, I thought I'd go through what I have and what I like and why. So I'm going to start off with what I use every day. So this is a Dior palette. See, I've hit pan in the centre, and I've been trying to replace this centre eyeshadow because I don't sell them separately and I can't find the perfect shade anywhere. So this is the 5 colours palette, and this is in 537 Touch. I love this because it's completely matte, there's no shimmer at all. I use this daily, so I use this kind of pale pink putty shade all over my lid. It's what I've got on now, and then I mix these two just into the socket to give me a bit of a socket because I've got quite hooded eyes, and so I need to sort of something to kind of deepen my socket, but they're still relatively natural. And then if I just want to add a bit more, I pop a bit of this just into the outer corners of my eyes. So the only one I don't use is this cream, really, but you could sort of use it as a brow highlighter. Texture's really nice, they blend absolutely beautifully, they stay on all day, they don't crease, and I just think Dior have really got it with their eyeshadows. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I've got some in my professional kit as well. So other ones that are kind of day to day, this is MAC Malt, and this is one of the ones that I've kind of tried to replicate that middle Dior shadow with, but this is slightly, it's actually a lot warmer than it looks here when you've got it on your skin. It's actually quite a warm tone to it, but again goes on really nicely. As with all MAC shadows, they blend really beautifully as well. The only thing I find with those is when I've tried to use them wet in the past, it wouldn't be that particular one, but it's kind of ruined the rest of the eyeshadow. It's caused a film over it and I've not been able to get past that. So that's the only thing with those. Bobbi Brown, I feel like they've gone downhill with their eyeshadows. I don't know whether I'm the only one to think that, but I used to love getting the limited edition palettes. And then I bought one a couple of years ago and the eyeshadows were just not as good as they used to be at all. So I've got this one. This is Antique Rose. So this is another just quite nice natural everyday lid shadow. And this is quite nice, but I've tried a couple of their sparkle shadows and I just don't think they've got particularly good payoff. But I think sparkle shadows are really, really difficult. Okay, so next I've got this, which is well, it's an entire palette really. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a Palette 5-minute face on the go. So again, this pink's quite nice on the lid. It's quite nice and brightening, or you can use this champagne-y colour here, and then the dark just at the outer corners and into the socket, and then you've got the rest of the sort of face products here. Not one I really reach for, to be perfectly honest. These shades are quite nice, but I don't particularly like the highlighter. The blushes are absolutely fine, but the bronzer's a bit, or the contour's a bit too warm for me as well. So just something that's kind of sitting in my drawer, sadly. So on the theme of Charlotte Tilbury, this is the Pillow Talk palette, which is a really beautiful warm toned nude palette. So I tend to use this just on my lid first of all, and then take this kind of darker rosier pink into the socket, and then if I want to add a bit of this dark brown. So these are all lovely. They are super buttery, super creamy for a powder eyeshadow. They're a dream to blend. They're really lovely. This sparkle one I have an issue with. I find first of all I have to rub my finger in it a lot to get anything off. If I try and use a brush, it's just completely pointless. I just end up with chunks of glitter, and it's fine. It's just a bit glittery, big chunks of glitter, which is not what I like. Personally, I like something really sheeny, like the Tom Ford palettes, some of them, Nude Dip in particular. the shadows are shimmery, but they're expensive shimmer. The particles are tiny, 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 and it just gives almost like a glowing effect rather than a glittery effect, which is completely beautiful. But then they come with a big price tag as well. So Tom Ford, this is Cocoa Mirage. So this is one I use sometimes if I'm going out. It's, I mean, all Tom Ford eyeshadows are lovely. All of his makeup's beautiful. Just a really nice kind of smoky eye palette. So this is quite a deep tone mid-brown for the lid. And then you've got a warmer toned dark brown and then a cooler toned brown as well. And then you've just got this kind of white that's just quite nice on the brow bone as well. Again, super blendable, just really lovely. So fun eyeshadow. This is my By Terry. I got this in TK Maxx for £13 a couple of weeks ago, and it's just a fun palette. The pastels go on nicely, they blend well. You do have to build them, they're quite sheer washes. And then in the middle you've got kind of darker, the same shade but darker with a bit of glitter through, but not so glittery you can't use them in your socket line. They're not particularly glittery. The only bugbear I have with this is that the pans are so tiny, sort of around the outside, you really need a small brush to kind of dip into them. But that's kind of my fun spring pastel palette. So moving on to cream shadows. This is a Charlotte Tilbury cream shadow. This is Marie Antoinette. I also have Norma Jean, but not here, which is a light kind of peachy champagne shade, which is really lovely. So I love these because the texture's like a mousse, and while they're not glittery, they're kind of multi-tonal, so you almost look as if you've got more than one colour on the eyelid. They're so creamy. Some cream shadows are quite hard and quite dry, but they're just gorgeous. They set, they don't crease. They're really, really good on more mature skin, just because they blend so beautifully and there's no creasing. And you can use just a finger to apply them, or you can use a brush. So I'll often use a MAC 217 just to blend it over the whole lid, but really nice just with the finger as well. Then I've got my Chanel Illusion d'Ombre. This is in Emma Veillet. So this is what I would term a more dry cream. Really pretty colour again, kind of a shimmering champagne shade. And again, so it's just here. So nice applied with fingers, or you could use a sort of a fluffy blending brush just to give a really nice sheer wash of colour for like a no makeup look, or you can just use it as your lid colour if you want just a bit of brightness by your lashes. Then I have got eyeshadow sticks. So this is the Clinique Chubby Stick. This is a lilac. These are fine. I find you have to press them quite hard, so for eyes they can be a little bit uncomfortable to apply for me. But once on, they're great. They don't move, and there's lots of shades available, and you can just kind of blend them out with a brush. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I've almost finished this, as you can see. So this is, oh, what's it called? I can't remember what they're called, but they're the stick eyeshadows. Super soft, as you can see, really buttery. It's just gone on easily. The glitter is a little bit chunky again for me, but this particular shade, I don't know whether this is Chameleon or something Diamonds. I can't quite see. But this is quite pretty just in the corners of the eyes. They do go down really quickly. They don't last long at all, just because they're so soft and so buttery. They just, you just finish them really quickly. So this is Laura Mercier Caviar Stick Eye Colour. I just got this as a sample. And again, just a really nice, super soft neutral shade, completely matte, so great for every day. So just draw it on in sort of a half moon shape up to the socket, and then blend with a fluffy brush. And then I've got my By Terry Ombre Black Stars. So this one is Bronze Moon. I got this in a little By Terry starter set. I'm trying to find a bit of my hand I haven't used yet. Again, just draw on and then blend. and they're super soft. They don't crease. They're absolutely beautiful. This, so that was Bronze Moon. This one is Misty Rock. And I don't know whether you can see this colour here, which is apparently the colour it is, and it's not that colour. And on certainly on Space NK's website, it looks like a kind of a pinky colour as well. But actually, it's not at all. I mean, I guess it's got a very slight pink tone to it, but it's a cool toned brown. But really, really beautiful, blended over the entire eyelid, and then with a bit extra into the socket. It's got kind of like a sheen to it. And what I often use over the top is my Kevyn Aucoin eye gloss, and this is in the shade Cosmic. And this has really mixed reviews, but I absolutely love it. So I don't know whether you can see this iridescent glitter. It's got kind of like a purple pink shift to it, and I just tap that over the By Terry Ombre Black Star, and it doesn't crease that. I know that people have problems with this creasing. Over powder eyeshadow I've tried it and it has creased, but over the By Terry stick it's perfect and really lovely. Also, if I'm going on a big night out, I use that as a highlighter on my cheekbones, and I always get compliments. It's kind of like a Vaseline-y feel. It's not sticky, but it feels a little bit greasy. So if you're very prone to oily eyelids, probably not the best product. And then lastly, this is definitely a going out product, and this is possibly the most lengthy name ever. So this is a Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. Not very snappy. And this is in Smouldering Satin. So it's like a kind of bronzy champagne-y shade, and it is just a glitter fest. But I don't mind the chunks of glitter in this because it's not pretending to be anything else. It's not pretending to be a shimmer with loads of chunky glitter. It is a glitter shadow, and there is so much glitter. So the glitter particles aren't kind of really spaced out, making them look more chunky. They're absolutely packed in there. So the only thing I would say about these, they set brilliantly. But if you want to blend them at all, you must put them on before your foundation, because the fallout, if you're blending them, is ridiculous. If you're just applying them, then I found that they are absolutely fine. So that is my eyeshadow roundup, and I'll see you next time.